So today I want to talk about the three types of shooters and what OVR can offer or not offer in some cases, those three types of shooters. Those three types of shooters are the apprehensive shooter, the sophomoric shooter, and then your fundamentalist shooter. Your apprehensive shooter is going to be somebody who owns maybe one or two guns or maybe no gun. And they want to learn more. They want to be safe. They want to properly handle the weapon, how to properly shoot the weapon. They don't necessarily want to be able to, go through and kick doors in and do all the high speed things, but they still want to be safe with the weapon, and maybe even for their child, their teenage kid, to be able to be safe to handle that weapon. Maybe they're interested in starting and going to hunting or something. But they're really apprehensive about going to a firing range. Firing ranges are loud. Depending on where you go to the range, there's 10 to 20 lanes out there. There's about every caliber and size of gun that you want and every type of shooter that you want that's there. And so they get really intimidated by going there, and they get really apprehensive about learning that. And so unfortunately, they never really learn, or if they do, they're learning from somebody down the street that may not be teaching them the right way. And so, for OVR, that's kind of our wheelhouse to start with. We start here. It's a private lane, private lesson. You come in, just you, or you and spouse or a kid or whatever's best for you, but it's private and it's quiet. We don't have to have the ear pro and the eye pro and yell at each other to help teach. And we're able to start with a weapon that's a non-recoil. And so we're able to work on the initial grip, on the initial sighting and everything, and really work on that gentle trigger pull versus the jerking of the trigger pull. You're able to work on not anticipating the recoil with the non-recoil weapon. Once you're done with that, then we step up to the recoil weapon. And then you can actually get that feel of a little bit of a kick from it. And then we can progress up as far as you want to progress up as an apprehensive shooter. If you want to just shoot a simple circle target and just work on those basics, work on how to properly clear your weapon, how to properly clean your weapon, we can do all of those things with you here at OVR. If you want to step it up and you want to shoot moving targets and shoot, silhouetted targets, we have all those too. So we can do that. And so OVR, like I said, is absolutely 100% meant for the apprehensive shooter. The next type of shooter is your sophomoric shooter. I'm just going to come out and say the honest truth on this. For your sophomoric shooters, I'm not really sure what OVR can offer you. A sophomoric shooter is somebody who typically owns multiple guns. They're usually very fancy, very loud guns. They usually have all the fancy gadgets on their weapons. They go to the firing range often to just pull the trigger and shoot. They'll put 100, 200 rounds down range, and the target will be scattered like you hit it with a shotgun, but they'll think they're a good shooter because I go to the range all the time. I pull the trigger. I have the fanciest gun, the coolest equipment. And so I think I'm a good shooter because I hit the target. But they're the ones that need the training the most. They're the ones that we would love to see into OVR the most. But they're also going to be the hardest ones to teach because those are the ones that will not leave their egos at the door. They're going to blame everything they possibly can on not being able to shoot properly at, say, a moving target, or being able to respond and react to a malfunction on their weapon where they have to reload and run through the malfunction drill. And so for those sophomoric shooters, we really need to get you to understand the importance of proper firearm safety and proper shooting. Again, just pulling a trigger and making a lot of noise is not proper shooting. So that takes us to our third type of shooter. A third type of shooter is your fundamentalist. Now, again, a fundamentalist, they can be a beginning, an advanced, or an intermediate shooter. But the fundamentalist is somebody who probably grew up with guns, probably owns multiple guns. They're actually a really good shot. So when they do go to the range and they do shoot, they're actually practicing. They're not just trying to pull the trigger and send rounds down range. They actually want to practice. They actually are making themselves a better shooter. And so, there's really not much to teach them on safety. There's not much to teach them on accuracy of shooting. Where we really can help that fundamentalist shooter is taking them up the notch and taking them up to that next level. That next level of shooting would be moving targets, drawing from holster, drawing from concealed holster, reload, moving and shooting, moving while shooting, working with a teammate to be able to shoot side by side. Again, should something bad happen and you have to have your teenage child or you have to have your neighbor with you to help fight something. So, for the fundamentalist shooter, OVR is here to really up your game and to make you just that much of a better shooter. So to wrap it up, we have that apprehensive shooter. We want in here, we want to teach you those basics of safety, those basics of weapons maintenance and cleaning, and just the basics of shooting. For the sophomoric shooter, we really want you in here to learn to actually properly handle your weapon. You probably already know how to clean the weapon and do all the maintenance, but you don't really have the skills down to properly shoot, properly fire accurately on target, multiple targets, and to do the drills of reloads. For the fundamentalist shooter, again, you probably already have the basics down, and so we want to make you a better shooter by allowing you to draw from a concealed holster, allowing you to do live action type videos where you have to have judgment and respond to shoot, threat versus a no threat. We want to make you that much better.